The first question. Jesus says, search and you will find. Does a desireless search exist? Jesus was in a very unfortunate situation. He has learned all the secrets in the East. And he was introducing something that has never existed in the Jewish tradition before. That was his crime. The orthodox, the traditionals, the conventional mind could not understand him. Osho was far more fortunate. He had the right people to talk to. Buddha was blessed. He could say things in as subtle a way as possible. In that sense, Jesus was hoping against hope. It was a great challenge, and he took the risk. He sacrificed his life, but he was misunderstood. It was bound to happen. It was inevitable. Whenever you introduce a new truth, you have to suffer for it. But it is a joy to suffer in the service of truth. Jesus could not even say the whole truth. That would have been too much. So whatsoever statements have come down in the name of Jesus are only half the story. The other half has never been told. Jesus could not say it because of the Jews he was surrounded with. And Christians have been clinging to those half-truths for 2000 years. For example, this statement is only a half-truth. Seek and ye shall find. The other half, which is far more important, without which the first half becomes not only meaningless but dangerous too, has been told by Osho. Osho says, do not seek and find. Do not seek and you have found it already. Both the statements will look contradictory to each other. They are not. The beginning of the pilgrimage starts with search, seeking, inquiring. There is no other way to begin with. Unless you inquire what is the meaning of life, unless you go in search for the essential core of existence, you will never move. You will not even take the first step. Hence the search has to begin. But if you continue searching forever and ever, If your search never comes to an end, you will remain in the mind. It is the mind which searches. Search is also a subtle desire. Even the inquiry to know is ambitious. The very desire to achieve something, money, power, prestige, meditation, God, whatsoever it is, any desire, any ambition leads you into the future. It distracts you from the present. And the present is the only reality, the only truth there is. The person who never begins the search will remain unconscious. The person who remains always in the search will go crazy. The search has to begin so that you become a little more alert, a little more observant, vigilant, aware, and then the search has to be dropped so that you become silent, so that the mind disappears, so that the future evaporates, and you are simply here now, neither seeking nor searching. In that stillness of no search, truth is found. And Lao Tzu is right when he says, seek and ye shall miss. Seek not and find immediately. But his statement is the second part of the journey. Jesus was speaking to the beginners. He is like a primary school teacher. Lao Tzu is talking to the adepts, to those who have come a long way. He is talking to the initiates. He is talking to people who can understand the joy of not searching, the stillness, the tranquility, the calmness of simply being. No ambition, no desire, no future, no time, no mind. Jesus' statement is only half of the truth and the beginning half. It is good for those who have not started the journey. It is meaningless. Not only that, but harmful for those who have started the journey and who are coming to realize the utter futility of all search. Because the truth is within you, and every search means going out, going somewhere else, leaving your home. When you drop searching, you will come back home naturally, spontaneously. You will settle at the very core of your being. You also ask, does a desireless search exist? No. All search is a manifestation of desire. But there is something like a state of consciousness which can be called non-searching, non-seeking, of total rest. In that total rest is samadhi. In that absolute tranquility is realization. Sylvia Moses has also asked a similar question. She says, Bhagwan, for many years I have been wondering what the difference is between spirituality and religiousness. Until now I have been unsuccessful in obtaining an answer. Can you tell me? Sylvia, the statement of Jesus, seek and ye shall find, ask and it shall be given to you, knock and the doors shall be opened unto you, contains religiousness. Lao Tzu's statement, seek not and find immediately, or Rabia al-Adawiya's statement to Hassan. Hassan was a Sufi seeker. Rabia was a Sufi master. Rabia used to pass every day from the marketplace, and he used to see Hassan kneeling down before a mosque and praying to God with raised hands. My Lord, how long have I to ask you? Open thy doors so that I can enter. Rabia had listened this prayer thousands of times. One day she came close to Hassan, shook him out of his prayer and shouted at him that stop all this nonsense, because the doors are always open. Why don't you enter? And it was a great revelation to Hassan. Suddenly he realized what he has been asking. Lord, open thy doors so that I can enter. And Rabia is saying the doors are always open. God has never closed them. If you want to enter, enter. But don't go on playing with this stupid prayer again and again. Don't waste your time. And don't waste his time. If you want to enter, enter. Otherwise go home. I don't want you to see here sitting before the mosque again. Hassan was shocked, bewildered. But it was the right moment, because when a person like Rabia says something to somebody, it is always at the right moment. When the person is ready to understand, he understood. He followed Rabia. He touched her feet and thanked her and told her that you are right. I was just being a fool. I wasted my life. Rabia said, stop. Don't talk nonsense again. It has not been a wastage. If you had not prayed all these years there, you would not have understood me. It has helped. It has not helped God to open the doors, because the doors are open. But it has helped you to understand my statement that the doors are open. You enter. I cannot say this thing to anybody else in this town. Only you were ripe. The spring had come only to you. That's why the flower has blossomed. Religiousness means the circumference, and spirituality means the center. Religiousness has something of spirituality, but only something. A vague radiation. Something like a reflection in the lake of the starry night, of the full moon. Spirituality is the real thing. Religiousness is just a byproduct. And one of the greatest misfortunes that has happened to humanity is that people are being told to be religious, not spiritual. Hence they start decorating their circumference. They cultivate character. Character is your circumference. But by painting your circumference, the center is not changed. But if you change the center, the circumference automatically goes through a transformation. Change the center. That is spirituality. Spirituality is an inner revolution. It certainly affects your behavior, but only as a byproduct. Because you are more alert, more aware, naturally your action is different. It has a different quality, a different flavor, a different beauty. But not vice versa. If your body is healthy, then your lips are red, but you can paint them with lipstick and they will look red and ugly. A woman with lipstick is the ugliest woman possible. I sometimes wonder whom she is trying to deceive. Her whole face is saying something else. Her whole body is saying something else. And her lips are so red that such redness does not happen naturally. They are painted. But there are fools in the world. She will find some fools to kiss those painted lips too. I cannot believe just try to taste lipstick and you will understand what I mean when I say I cannot believe. And layers of lipstick, old rotten. People are living with painted faces, wearing masks. These people are called religious. Christians, Hindus, Mohammedans, Jainas, these are religious people. Buddha, Jesus, Zarathustra, Krishna, Lao Tzu, these people are spiritual. Spirituality belongs to your essential being, and religiousness only to the outermost actions, behavior, morality. religiousness is formal, going to the church every Sunday, a social affair. And the church is nothing but a kind of club, Rotary Club, Lions Club, and there are many clubs. The church is also a club with religious pretensions. The spiritual person belongs to no creed, to no dogma. He cannot belong to any church, Hindu, Christian, Mohammedan. It is impossible for him to belong to any. Spirituality is one. Religions are many. My insistence here is on inner transformation. I don't teach you religion. I teach you spirituality. I can understand, Sylvia, why you were unable to find any answer. You must have been asking the religious people, the Christians, the bishops, the popes, the priests, or the rabbis. They will give you answers because they are supposed to know. They know nothing. Just they are supposed to know. Rabbi asked little Saul one day, why do coachmen have brown, white, red or black beards but never green ones? I have to ponder on this, replied the rabbi. Rabbi asked little Saul again, why do you always chain the horse with its tail towards the carriage instead of its head? I have to think about this, replied the rabbi. Next day the rabbi saw little Saul and told him, I have found the solution to both your questions. If the beard of a coachman were green and you put the horse with its head towards the carriage, the horse might think the beard was grass and eat it. The rabbis, the priests, the bishops, they are supposed to know everything. You ask any question, sensible or not so sensible, making any sense or making no sense at all, but they will answer. That is their business, to answer all kinds of stupid questions. You must be asking, Sylvia, to these people. That's why you have not been successful in obtaining an answer. They don't have the answer. Only a Jesus can answer your question. Are a Buddha, are a Kabir, are a Nanak, somebody who knows life from his innermost being, who has come to know the eternal in him. Spirituality belongs to the eternal and religion belongs to the temporal. Religion belongs to people's behavior. It is really what Pavlov, Skinner, Delgado and others say, a conditioning of the behavior. The child is brought up by Christians, then he is conditioned in one way, he becomes a Christian. Or he is brought up by Hindus, he is conditioned in another way, he becomes a Hindu. His conditioning is an imprisonment. He will remain a Hindu. His whole life he will think like a Hindu or a Christian. And those thoughts are not his own. They have been put into his head by others, by the vested interests, by the establishment, by the state, by the church. They have their own interests. They want to dominate you. And the best way to dominate you is to condition you from the very beginning so deeply that you start thinking that this conditioning is what you are. You are not Christian, Hindu, Mohammedan. You are born as a spiritual being, and then you are a victim of your parents, teachers, priests. And of course, these parents, these teachers and these priests go and tell into you, respect your parents, respect your teachers, respect your priests. If you don't respect them, you will fall in hell. If you respect them, then all the pleasures of heaven are yours. This is a simple psychological strategy to make you afraid and to make you greedy. These are the two things people are ruled by, fear and greed. And the spiritual person is one who is free of both. Just few days before, I talked about one friend. Ajay Krishna Lakhanpal. He wanted to take sannyas 1 month before. But he wrote to me that I am ready to take sannyas today if you say so. Otherwise, I will feel more happier in taking sannyas on 25th October on my birthday. I want to ask my mother. I know she will allow me. She will not prevent. So I said, okay, you ask your mother. And his mother has not prevented him. She had permitted him to take sannyas. Of course, she said, I will not feel very happy, but if you are feeling good, you can take sannyas. Now he wrote to me that because my mother will not feel happy, that's why I cannot take sannyas. First it was the permission of the mother. Now the permission is there, but the mother will not feel happy. Just few days before I discussed it, and he became very angry. He wrote an angry letter to Sila. Few points he has written which are worth considering. How people are being conditioned. First thing, he was angry because I has told you that he is 45 years old. He was angry with Sila because he is only 36. It does not matter. 45 or 36, how does it matter? But the anger is caused by something else. This is just an excuse, just to find some fault that she has informed me wrongly, so I can put it right. Ajay Krishna, you are not 45. You are 27. 45 plus 27 divided by 2, and you will be 36. Exactly 36. And again he goes on rationalizing. He says, my own master Kammu Baba had said that never hurt the feelings of your parents. If you hurt the feelings of your parents, then no master can ever help you. True. But are you sure, Ajay Krishna, that you are not hurting the feelings of your parents? He himself writes in the letters that my father died and I feel guilty because I am an alcoholic and I did not listen to him and I continued to drink too much and he died. Now I feel guilty that I was not up to his standards. Did not you remember your Kammu Baba's statement? Now, do you think, Ajay Krishna, your mother is happy with your alcoholism? Are you not hurting your mother by drinking too much? But that problem does not arise. The father has died, he feels guilty and still continues to drink, maybe a little more, so that he does not feel guilty. The mother is old, 68. Or maybe 78. Because again it is Sila who has informed me. Is she very happy with your alcoholism? Are you not hurting her? Do you think alcohol can help when you hurt your mother? A master cannot help, that is true. Kammu Baba must be right. But can alcohol help? And not only that, he quotes Quran. He says in the Quran it is said, don't hurt your parents. To be surrendered to your parents, to sit underneath their feet is to be in paradise. And do you think, Ajay Krishna, the Quran says, go on drinking as much as you want? The Quran also says if you drink you will fall in hell. So you choose only that part of the Quran which helps you to do what you want to do. He also quotes Jewish scriptures that they all say respect your parents, but they are all against alcohol. If you really respect your mother, then give one proof: stop drinking. If you really want to make her happy, stop drinking. That will be a proof. Otherwise, this is sheer playing with words, rationalization. Neither you are interested in Kammu Baba, nor you are interested in your father, nor you are interested in your mother. Your whole interest is that you are afraid of sannyas. And last thing in his letter he says that it is not true that I am afraid of sannyas. It is because of compassion on my mother. And by being an alcoholic, you are being very compassionate to the mother. But all the religions down the ages have been teaching you to respect your parents. Why? Why the religions teach that? A subtle strategy of exploitation. Because your religion has been given to you by your parents. If you go against your religion, they will be hurt. If a Hindu declares that I am simply a human being, no more a Hindu, the parents will be hurt. So the parents have also taught him, respect your parents. Believe in whatsoever they have said. They cannot be wrong. As if your parents are enlightened people. As if your parents know what they are doing. Their parents did the same thing to them. They have done it to you, and you will do it to your children. This is how diseases go on being transferred from one generation to another generation. Of course, the priest will say, respect the parents, because there is a conspiracy. The conspiracy is that all their interests are involved together in keeping hold upon you. To be my sannyasin means to be a rebel. I am not saying that hurt the feelings of your parents. I am saying be yourself. Be lovingly yourself. Be respectfully yourself. There is no need to go out of the way to hurt your parents. But if they don't allow you to be yourself, then it is their responsibility. If they feel hurt, that is their responsibility, not yours. Don't harm them, but don't harm yourself either, because your first responsibility is towards your own self. Everything else is secondary. But man's mind is very cunning. Cowardice he will hide in the beautiful word compassion. He will rationalize everything. Your religions are nothing but rationalizations of fear, of greed. And there are conspiracies against you by the establishment, by the people who are ruling you, politically, religiously, philosophically, in every way. The people who have reduced humanity into a great concentration camp. And you must have asked these people, what is the difference between spirituality and religiousness? They cannot say. They don't know themselves. Spirituality is rebellion. Religiousness is orthodoxy. Spirituality is individuality. Religiousness is just remaining part of the crowd psychology. Religiousness keeps you a sheep, and spirituality is a lion's roar. The second question. I have heard that your sannyasins celebrate death. You have heard rightly. My sannyasins celebrate everything. Celebration is the foundation of my sannyas. Not renunciation, but rejoicing. Rejoicing in all the beauties, all the joys, all that life offers. Because this whole life is a gift of God. The old religions have taught you to renounce life. They are all life negative. Their whole approach is pessimistic. They are all against life and its joys. To me, life and God are synonymous. In fact, life is a far better word than God itself. Because God is only a philosophical term, while life is real, existential. The word God exists only in scriptures. It is a word, a mere word. Life is within you and without you, in the trees, in the clouds, in the stars. This whole existence is a dance of life. I teach love for life. I teach the art of how to live your life totally. How to be drunk with the divine through the life. I am not an escapist. All your old religions have been teaching you escapism. They were all, in a certain sense, hip. The word hippie has to be understood. It simply means one who escapes from the battle of life, shows his hips. All our old religions are hippie. They have shown their hips. They could not accept the challenge of life. They could not confront and encounter life. They were cowards. They escaped to the mountains, to the monasteries. But even if you escape to the mountains and to the monasteries, how can you leave yourself behind? You are part of life. Life pulsates in your blood. Life breathes you. Life is your very being. Where you can escape. And all those efforts to escape, considered correctly, are suicidal. Your monks, your nuns, your Mahatmas, your so-called saints were all suicidal people. They were trying gradual suicide. Not only that they were suicidal, they were cowards too. Cowards because they could not even commit suicide in a single blow. They were committing suicide gradually, in installments. By and by, slowly. They were dying. And we have respected these unhealthy people, unwholesome people, these insane people. They were against God because they were against life. I am in tremendous love with life. Hence I teach celebration. Everything has to be celebrated. Everything has to be lived, loved. To me nothing is mundane and nothing is sacred. To me all is sacred. From the lowest rung of the ladder to the highest rung, it is the same ladder. From the body to the soul, from the physical to the spiritual, from sex to samadhi, everything is divine. An old Rajneesh Sannyasin told an actor playing Hamlet that he himself had once played the part. What was your interpretation of the role? Ask the actor, did Hamlet really make love to Ophelia? I don't know if Hamlet did, replied the sannyasin, but I certainly did. Celebration has to be total. Only then you can be multidimensionally rich. And to be multidimensionally rich is the only thing we can offer to God. If there is a God, and someday you are going to face Him, He will ask you only one question: have you lived your life totally or not? Because this opportunity is given to you to live, not to renounce. My sannyasins celebrate death too, because to me death is not the end of life, but the very crescendo of life, the very climax. It is the ultimate of life. If you have lived rightly, if you have lived moment to moment totally, if you have excused the whole juice of life, your death will be the ultimate orgasm. The sexual orgasm is nothing compared to the orgasm that death brings. But it brings only to the person who knows the art of being total. The sexual orgasm is a very faint thing compared to the orgasm that death brings. What happens in sexual orgasm? For a moment, you forget that you are a body. For a moment, two lovers become merged into one unity, into one organic union. For a moment, they are not separate entities. They have melted into each other like two clouds who have become one. But it is only for a single moment. Then they are again separate. Hence, all sexual orgasms bring in the wake a kind of depression. Because you fall from the height. You had reached a crescendo, and only for a fragment of a moment you remained on the peak, and then the peak disappeared. And when you fall from that height, you fall into the depth of depression. This is one of the contradictions of sex. It gives you the greatest pleasure and also the greatest agony. It gives you ecstasy and agony both. And each time you reach to an orgasmic state, you know soon it will disappear. And then there is disillusionment, disappointment. Death gives you the ultimate in orgasmic joy. The body is left behind forever, and your being becomes one with the whole. It is immeasurable. To become one with a single person gives you so much joy. Just think, becoming one with the infinite, how much joy will not be happening. But it does not happen to everybody who dies. Because the people who have not lived rightly, they cannot die rightly either. The people who have lived in deep unconsciousness will die in unconsciousness. Death will give you only that which you have lived all your life. It is the essence of your whole life. If your life was of meditativeness, awareness, witnessing, then you will be able to witness death too. Your whole life, in different situations, you remained cool, centered. Death will give you the ultimate challenge, the ultimate test. And if you can remain centered, calm and cool and watching, then you will not die an unconscious death. Your death will bring you to the ultimate peak of consciousness. And then certainly it has to be celebrated. So whenever one of my sannyasin dies, we celebrate, we dance, we sing. We give him a good farewell. A midget had died and left a widow. Friends came to pay their condolences and look at the body lying in an upstairs room of the house. After one friend came down, he was asked by the widow whether he had shut the door of the room where the body lay. No, said the visitor, I did not think it was necessary. Then I had better go upstairs and shut it, replied the widow. The cat has had him downstairs twice already. You know, my cat is a Rajneesh Sannyasin and he wants to celebrate the occasion. Little Payarino goes camping with his parents. A little while after they had finished the day doing many things, they bed down for the evening. Payarino cries, Mummy, I can't sleep. There is a dead ant on my belly. Shh! Payarino, says his mother, be a good boy. Just go to sleep. It is nothing to worry about. After a few minutes, Payarino's voice is heard again. Mummy, Mummy, I can't sleep. I have got a dead ant on my belly. Payarino scolds his mother. Come on now. Don't tell me that a small dead ant stops you from sleeping. Well, replies Payarino, it is not the dead ant really. It is all his ardent sannyasin friends that have come to celebrate his death. Yes, Palma, sannyasins celebrate death because they celebrate life. And death is not against life. It does not end life. It only brings life to a beautiful peak. Life continues even after death. It was before birth. It is going to continue after death. Life is not confined between the small space that exists between birth and death. On the contrary, births and deaths are small episodes in the eternity of life. We celebrate everything. Celebration is our way to receive all gifts from God. Life is His gift. Death is His gift. Body is His gift. The soul is His gift. We celebrate everything. We love the body. We love the soul. We are materialist spiritualists. Nothing like this has ever happened in the world. This is a new experiment, a new beginning, and it has great future for it. In the past, there have been materialists who denied the soul, and there have been spiritualists who denied the body. Both were agreed on one point, that only one can be accepted, either the body or the soul. They were either or people. They were not ready to accept the whole as it is. They were choosers. My sannyasins live in choiceless awareness. We are not choosers. We simply accept whatsoever is the case. The materialists, the Charvakas in India, and the Epicureans in Greece denied the soul. They said there is no soul. The soul is just imagination. The soul is illusion. And the spiritualists, the Sankaracharya in India and Berkeley in Europe, these people said that the matter is illusory, Maya. The body does not exist really. It is only your imagination. It is a dream made of the same stuff as dreams are made of. You are a soul. But both are agreeing on one point, that they cannot accept reality as it is. They have to choose. It is as if an electrician chooses the positive pole and another electrician chooses the negative pole, and both deny the other pole. There will be no electricity, no light in the world. That's what has happened. The spiritualists have not been able to transform the world. The materialist has failed also, because the world exists with polar opposites. Without the polarity there is no world at all. The day is as much needed as the night. The body is as much needed as the soul. The world is as much needed as God. There can be no circumference without a center, and there can be no center without a circumference. This is a simple fact. My sannyas is acceptance of that which is. We are not choosers. Who we are to choose, and what difference our choice is going to make. You can choose whatsoever you like, but whatsoever you don't like is going to remain there. Just by not choosing it, it is not going to disappear. And because you have not chosen it, you will remain half, lopsided. The East has remained lopsided because of the so-called spirituality. It has remained poor, unscientific, without any technology, without industry. It has become lousy, lazy, lethargic. It has lost all joy in existence, because this is all dream. Why bother about it? It is hungry, ill, poor. But this is all illusion. You are simply dreaming that you are poor. You are not really poor. You are simply dreaming that you are starving. You are not starving. And the West has chosen materialism. So there is great technology, beautiful houses, better roads, better cars, better aeroplanes. But man is very empty and meaningless. Without spirituality, there will be no center. Man is falling apart. The Western man is half, the Eastern man is half. My effort here is to create the whole man. To me, the whole man is the only holy man. The East and the West have to meet. They have to become complementaries, not antagonists. But this is possible only if we change the whole philosophical background. Hence I teach a very contradictory philosophy. Spiritualist materialism is the name that I give to my philosophy. I want you to be materialists and spiritualists simultaneously in a balanced way. I would love that the society has all the facilities, all the comforts and conveniences that science and technology can provide. And I would also love that the people have a great awareness inside them so that they can enjoy whatsoever science provides for. I would like everybody to be a Buddha. But at the same time, I would like the world also to become more and more comfortable, more and more lovable, more and more beautiful. We can transform this world into a paradise. But then, we have to stop choosing. We have to simply accept the whole as it is, with all its contradictions. Those contradictions are contradictions only because of our logical obsession. Otherwise, they are complementaries. Life and death both are beautiful. The last question. What does it mean when a woman says she is afraid of a man? If you had asked me, what does it mean when a man says that he is afraid of women, I would have answered you very accurately. But your question is such that it is almost unanswerable. It is very difficult to say what does it mean when a woman says she is afraid of a man. The woman says one thing, means another thing. She may be simply making you feel at ease, Pradeep, that don't be afraid, I am myself afraid of you. She must be seeing you trembling. She must be aware of your fear. And every man is afraid of a woman. Has to be. From the very beginning, he is in the hands of a woman, the mother. And the fear is created from those very early days. Your first impression of a woman is that of a mother. And the mother has made you immensely afraid. And you have seen not that only you were afraid, your father was also afraid of the mother. He was like a lion outside the house, and whenever he comes into the home, he starts wagging his tail. You have seen this. Children are very perceptive. They go on looking what is happening. They understand it perfectly well. Who is really the master of the house? They are afraid of the mother. The father is afraid of the mother. Everybody seems to be afraid of the mother. And naturally, they become accustomed of the fear. And the man is capable of tackling any problem intellectually. He is afraid of the woman because her ways of tackling a problem are very intuitive, instinctive. No woman is intellectual. Intelligent, of course, but not intellectual. But his man's intelligence is of one kind, And hers, the woman's intelligence, is of a totally different kind. Man's intelligence is the essence of his intellect, and woman's intelligence arises out of her intuitiveness. And there is no meeting ground. There is no possibility. They are polar opposites. That's why they are attracted towards each other. Because they cannot understand each other, there is mystery between them. That mystery is of great appeal. A frustrated man started walking up and down hopelessly on the platform at the departing train. If you had not taken so long getting ready, he accused his wife, we would have caught it. Yes, she replied, and if you had not hurried me, we would not have so long to wait for the next one. Is this supposed to be art? Why on earth did they hang this picture here? One woman asked another in an art gallery. Maybe they could not find the painter. The other replied, a beautiful blonde filled in the job applications. The personal director looked over it and said, Miss Johnson, under experience, could you be a little more specific than just, ah boy? A girl in the warehouse of a red light district told the madam one day that she was quitting. You can't do that, protested the madam. You are the best girl I have got. Why? I have seen you go upstairs 30 and more times a night. That's right, the girl agreed. That's why I am quitting. My feet are killing me, and it is on account of those damn stairs. It is very difficult, Pragit, for me to answer your question. You will have to ask your woman herself. Schumann, the postman, was retiring. On his last day, as usual, he delivered to Mrs. cards who invited him in for fine breakfast. When he had finished and was about to leave, she beckoned him into the bedroom where they made love for an hour. When he was getting ready to leave, she handed him an envelope with a dollar bill in it. Schumann was overwhelmed. Look, Mrs. Katz, he said finally, I have been delivering your mail for the past 20 years and you have never so much as offered me a cup of coffee. So why today did all this happen? Well, she said, I told my husband Saul that you were retiring today and he said, fuck him, give him $1. The breakfast was my idea. In a 30 days.